So the next question was, what is required for the health of a kingdom friendship? It's because it's because when I saw that, I was like, good question.
Somebody let me know, cause
let me listen, girl. I'm like, let me know, cause I don't know, but I do like what I can say in terms of the health because you can't. It's like you gotta have moments of slight toxicity. When I say toxicity, I don't mean like world toxicity. I mean like slight moments where the person, like as what we just experienced, where me rub you wrong in terms of my approach to you, and I was me hurt up certain trauma on the face of it. All people say that, them are like, yeah, I don't think that's what I'm supposed to be getting from this. I'm supposed to be getting build up. None of this not supposed to happen in a friendship. It's giving toxic. It's giving I can't trust you. So that's what I mean. I say it's like health in a kingdom friendship to maintain. Well, I say how what is required for the health of it. I think on the basis is just operating from a place of love, First Corinthians type of place, which again is difficult if we individually now feed ourselves, if that makes sense. So where we're lacking in our spiritual walk, if we spill over in our friendships, we spill over in our relationships, just with academic life, but our friendships will suffer because when I read, can't tell when last I read my Bible, can't tell when last I pray. Not now, guys, I'm just a say. Can't tell when last I pray, can't tell when last I do something. And then Bianca come to me now with something where, should they expect me? God would have given me the grace for it, but because I haven't been eating for a while, when she come to me now, me just name her up, mince her up, wicked, and she like, oh my gosh,
yeah.
How could you? I mean, like, well, there is no compassion, there is no care there, because I have for help me for care, for help me for empathize with the situation. So it's like the health of the friendship is dependent on the health of your relationship with God.
I second that point. It's very important for us to pay attention to the vertical relationship in order for the horizontal to be balanced. Unless you're going to end up having like a lopsided cross kind of, and that is a no.
Evidently, the very fact that it's a cross,
exactly. It's a no.
It's not in a word.
So it has to be completely aligned like that, and so it's very important for us to pay attention to our relationship with God in order for this to work accurately. I would also say, and I'm a big advocate on authenticity and truth, and I am still learning to embrace my authentic self. And so learning to embrace my authentic self with other people is a challenge, and I'm kind of working it out along the way. But being authentic in each and every situation, if it is that you're not feeling like up, and the person like come to you saying that, yo sis, this has been going on lately too, and you say to them, right now I don't feel like I have the capacity to have this conversation. I really do want to hear you out.
I do not have the capacity.
I do not have the capacity. I just cannot. But yeah, I don't feel like I have the capacity to give you the advice that you're expecting right now. I really give that listening ear in this moment where I'm dealing with a lot of heavy stuff. I really want to be able to listen to you in a time where the space is free and it doesn't feel like there's so much clutter. So at the end of the day, I'm looking out for you and I'm looking out for myself. If I feel like I can't take on any more weight, then I just don't take on any more weight. But also, I don't want you to feel rejected and dejected that, yo, Bianca, no, Shouldn't really.
Because understanding on the other person's part too, to like is like you're thinking of yourself less by looking at the putting yourself in the person's position, like having a heart and compassion towards the person. How would you want someone to respond to you in that time? Yes, you have your problems and where you want to talk to somebody, but if you were in her position and you see what she go through right now, and she says she can't really, be there in the way that she would want to be there for you. It's up to me to like look and say, say, I understand where you come from, babes, and just like lean out a little heart if you can, like.
But I will also say, and I will also mention this, and people listen up, like perk up your ears. For all of them independent people there, will like deal with them issues and the problems on their own, and then look on them other friends and then realize that they might go through a lot. If it is that they do not tell you specifically from their mouth that they cannot deal with your issues, they don't have the capacity, then do not make that assumption for them, please. Do not do that. Okay?
Don't do that.
Allow them to say it. Don't make assumptions for them.
But now I don't talk. I kind of still do that to this day. I just look and just look at mini assessments and be like, yeah, man, really think say you can manage a week, alright?
Because then how it comes off or how it is perceived, well, to me personally, I don't know about anybody else, that you had this big weighty thing going on, and probably have some other friends that you think are closer to you, so you share with them. So I'm like, okay, maybe money not really consider me to be that close thing. That's fine. I mean, it's okay.
But I think again, you see, the thing about that is like you understanding from the person's perspective that it's care. It's really care that, I care so much about you so as to not overburden you. But I do understand where
and that's why the open communication needs to be there, because you will make assumptions and it's kind of unspoken, so you have this wrong perspective or idea in your head, and nobody's there to say, oh yeah, this is actually correct, or no, this is a different perspective on it. It's just you carrying on with the assumption, and you act out of that assumption.
It's a matter of just openly communicating expectations within the friendship so as to like maintain that healthy environment for the friendship. So again, it's a trial and error thing. There are moments where you're going to experience some not so healthy things within the friendship, and you just have to ask God to give you the grace to work through it, that it's possible for it to be working through, and both parties are willing to work through it.
And then also I think what we touched on as well is the importance of boundaries. Laying boundaries in your relationships are very important. You have to be able to test the spirit of the person. You have to be able to know your friend, know the person that you are in relationship with, know what they can handle within a given moment or season, and you don't put too much pressure on that, because you have different relationships at different levels. And if you put a whole lot of weight on a branch, if you put the same amount of weight that you put on a root, on a branch, it eventually is going to break off. And it doesn't mean that the root relationship is more important than the branch relationship. They all serve a given purpose, and they're all very important and integral to you as a person. So you really have to be able to sense when you can put that level of weight on a person, and when you just can't. If they're not at 100%, don't put that level of weight and expectations on them, because you end up letting down yourself, and you make the other person feel bad that they didn't have the capacity to help you in that time, in that season, and you cannot share every single thing with them. And that's very important for both people to understand. You can't share every single thing within the given time that it happens. Sometimes you have to allow like a moment to pass, like some kind of beat, and then after that you come back to the person and you say, no, this was happening so and so time. But it comes back to knowing timing as well. Because if you really need it to get it off of your chest, and that person is at that place as well, then you share with them. But if it's a time where maybe another person will help out, or maybe a mentor will help out, you just give them like a summary that, something is going on right now, but I'm working it out. I'm talking to my mentor about it and everything.
End of it though, I just want you or persons who are intrigued just appreciate that, to be very honest, majority of this are trial and error. You learn along the way, so don't beat up yourself if you actually might overburden a friend unintentional, because again, I don't like you get up with the intention to say like, oh my god, stress about somebody with my problem, but it's just more so it's like you're unaware, so you just need to like be ensure that. That's why I say it's paramount to your relationship with God. So it's like you can ask God or talk to God before anybody else by right, or so it's supposed to go. And then you just reason with whoever you feel like reason. Ask them a question like, is it a good time right now for me to share something that has been resting on my heart? And they can tell you whether or not this is them can
exactly. Those come full circle, because if you're not sharing with God and talking to him on a continual basis, you're going to put more pressure on this, and it's going to go like this. So you really need to be able to have that continual communication with God, so that you're not overburdening your friends or your families, your mentors, whoever it is, with your problems. Because if you go to God first, a lot of the times he will share with you and give you wisdom on how to deal with what you're dealing with, and comfort you and nurture you. Everything that you need is there within him. And your friends, your families, your mentors, they should be the confirmation then of what the Holy Spirit has been
very
saying.
much so, yeah. Next question is, do kingdom friendships end? And how do we healthily why my aunt can't manage that one there, approach the separation? So the question is, do kingdom friendships end, and how do we healthily approach the separation? Yeah.
You want to take one more?
No, you don't to nominate you.
I volunteer you as tribute.
I mean, this question actually hits home for both of us, really. Because I think we're still yet to grapple with the does it end kind of situation. Because I say what God put together, let no one put apart. But I mean, I believe kingdom friendships can come to an end, because to everything there is a season. It's just discerning from God whether or not this season has ended for this friendship, and in knowing that season has ended, asking him to help you come to terms with the end. Sometimes it not end clean. Sometimes it really don't end clean. Far from it. Sometimes the way it ends, it just in your face, and you're like wait a minute. Like me think say like we had so much in store together. I mean, I know it's like, a friendship hurt, a friendship breakup, a kingdom friendship breakup is way harder to me than like a relational breakup, like a boyfriend or girlfriend. Because it's like, I expect that person, sorry for your spouse, it's like, I expect that person that been dead through thick and thin, like, you will never go through life. And it sucks, like, when you expect them for, and this is a personal thing, like, you and them encounter God differently, and like them operating on them giftings, and there are things that they were there at the inception and the seed stage of whatever it is that was there, and now the seed are turning on a little mini tree, and you look for like say, hey, like look, like so we have the mini tree there. Remember when we did I believe for this? And it's like when you look, nobody. Well, let's see other people, but you not see them, because it's like they would be more appreciative or understanding of what the value of that tree is. Is that that's what I would believe. But funny enough, the people were still there in your life, the kingdom friends are still there in my life, feel like see and know, like, whoa, say God really come through with this, and they too can bask in that same way, low key. Not low key, but them can bask in it too. But it's like you have to come to terms with say, yo, at the end of the day, it's a choice thing.
Exactly.
It's a choice thing, to be very honest. And this is why I'm saying two parties have to want to work it out. Cause brother, you can push up on people subtle, I show love subtle, See God himself do it, Show love subtle. Them not want it, them just not go. Them not want it work, them not go put in the effort to make it work. You just have to just come to terms with it by asking God to help you to come to terms with it. And just low key pray for them from afar. Pray for the, like, because I say sometimes you have to just watch them go and do whatever it is that they're doing. If they're in the kingdom, pray that they continually grow in the kingdom. Because truthfully, God is a purposeful God. So if it is that you have served your purpose in this space, He's not gonna keep you in that space forever. He's not gonna move you. He's not gonna move you to where you're going to be purposeful in that particular situation. So for us, where kingdom friends are concerned, we can't really want to hold on to them for life, even though we want to. Because it's like, oh my goodness, you and them share this intimate space and all of that stuff. But we also have to come to terms with one day them purpose might have complete in your life, and given that it's done, it's not like, oh, you're gonna become strangers or whatever. But even if you do become strangers, it's that you come to terms to appreciate all that they did in the season that it was done in, and just give them thanks for that. And it's hard. It's very hard. It's very hard. But
I was gonna. You finished?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. That was basically my answer. And I just want to emphasize something that you said about, understanding that it's a choice at the end of the day, and respecting their choice. Because maybe it's not that God allowed the season to end. God never necessarily want the season to end, but they were the ones that call a shot and say, I want to end this season. I want to close this chapter of my life. I want to shut the door. And sometimes you have to stand on the other side of the door and be like, okay, the door is shut, and just walk away. You wish them well, and you walk away. Because as you rightfully said, you can't be in something that is one-sided. That would be no point. There would be no point to that. The two can't come together unless they agree.
True.
That would be entertaining some kind of unequal yoke within the stability of the friendship. And if it's unequal, then just walk away. If that person has put us close to that season and God has allowed it to happen, then as you rightfully said, Monique, appreciate the moments that you had with that person. Don't demonize them for the choice.
Heavy on that. Don't do it. Resist the urge. It might start out a bit sour, right? Because I mean, you're a human being, and they might have drop you like a hot potato, and you might have feel like say that's son of the Lord, that's daughter of the Lord. You do me wrong, you do me dirty, blah blah blah, and go around and demonize them, as you say. And it not prove fruitful because you know bad to bad the value that they had in your life, and you can't really deny that because of God put them there.
Also, also you need to put yourself in their shoes, because maybe the reason why they put a close to that season, and a close to your friendship, maybe it's not even so much a personal attack, but it's because your season with them in that time caused them a lot of trauma, and they want to shut out the trauma that they went through in that season, and you just happen to be a part of that season. So in walking away or pulling themselves away from that season, them going to have to close the door on some relationships, on some friendships. And sad to say, unfortunately, you may be a part of that. Don't take it as a personal attack.
Yeah.
But be able to put yourself in the person's shoes and have an appreciation for the fact that they've made this choice, and they want to see it through, and they want to move forward. They want to get better. They want to heal. Maybe you just can't be a part of that healing right now, and that is okay. Maybe the only way that you can be a part of that healing, praying for them. There's so much importance in praying for the people that are no longer directly in your life. Because if there's nobody else that's praying for them, if there's nobody else that is speaking over them, and they're not speaking into their life, you know, say you have dropped some seeds, some gems in them life wherever you are.
And it helps you to heal too, you know, like forgive them and so forth, and you know, look forward to future kingdom friendships and stuff like that. With an open mind, knowing that, you know, they're not confined to you and you alone for the rest of their lives. You know, they have places to go, things to do, kingdom things to do. So yes. So there are two last questions. One, how do you know when a friendship is a kingdom friendship? And I think that's a bit easy, so you can take that one. And you can also answer the one that says how to not compare kingdom friendships. I don't know if you do that, you know, but I found myself to do that every now and again. So how do you know that a friendship is kingdom friendship, Bianca?
How do you know that a friendship is kingdom friendship? It comes with it. Well, alright. So on normal friendship, normal basis, you connect with a person from a place of commonality. You have similar interests, similar values, and so you bond on that level. Or maybe you guys are in the similar space then. Whatever commonality there is, only can kind of dance, skip and jump on that common ground. And that's how the bond is built up. That's how the trust is built up, communication and so on. When it is kingdom, there is a spiritual element that is added to that, because the spiritual component in both people are very much active, and they're pouring into it continually. So with the spirit being active in both people, as long as there being a commonality on like the natural level, where we think alike, we like values and then kind of stuff there, hearts connecting and all of that, you know, I actually like this person, we talk almost every day, but on the spiritual level, it's almost like you'll be able to say what the other person is thinking or read between the lines of what they're saying, and that gifting, that talent, in understanding that other person doesn't come from you alone, but it comes from the Holy Spirit who knows them intimately. So they begin to share that intimate knowledge. Yeah. They begin to share that intimate knowledge of the person that you are in relationship with. And it also happens when you're praying for them. They don't have to tell you everything that's going on, but somehow, somewhere, money just know everything where I go on and I'm alive. When she pray for me, and I'm like, when did I tell you about this thing?
Holy Spirit, man, that with him. One thing talk.
And I think sometimes like I do make the assumption that I don't need to tell you things because you already know, like the Holy Spirit would tell you.
What's wrong?
Because why? Use a superhero and use a mind reader, right? Because that's how we operate.
And to add to that too, you're finished?
No, you can continue.
To add to that though, one of the major things in kingdom friendships is that them edify you, them help you actually, you sense yourself are grow when you're there with them. There's no stagnancy in your spiritual walk with God. It's like every time you and them left from a conversation on a feel pep in your step, you don't feel boggled down and worn and like you just waste your time. You feel like you actually do something productive, even though you might not do schoolwork. The facts are not busting about Jesus, like for like a whole 3 hours, and I'm like, yeah, that's my friend. Yeah, that's the Lord right there. And he's like, you're like, well, I have this assignment to do. Let's get on it. But he's like, it doesn't. It's just refreshing. It really is. You can sense it from the level of edification you give to them and they give to you. It's reciprocated. And you can sense it's like Mark, you're not all the time not gonna kabosh and die. You have your moments where, as we say, as we even did start from the jump, you have moments of conflict where the person bring up trauma, but it's just how they respond to it. The kingdom friends, them not run, them actually stay and work through it together. So yeah, that's that. And the next question, the final question is, how do you not compare yourself to other kingdom friends? Kingdom friendships. How do you not compare kingdom friendships? That was the question.
For that, I do think you need to compartmentalize the relationships that you have, and not just gathering all of them into a pile until you have the same level of expectations for each and every one. Because that will cause disaster. Because the people that you're in different relationships with, they're not the same person. They're different individuals, and you have to have an appreciation for the individual that they are. And in every conversation, in every interaction that you have with them, you refresh your memory and your knowledge of that person, your knowledge base that, okay, this is how they are, this is how they communicate, these are the experiences that made them into this person, so they really can't communicate on the other level that this other kingdom friend would. Or there's some areas that they are stronger at in another area that a kingdom friend would probably slack off in. But I think it's inevitable that you're going to compare your relationship.
Yeah, that part, it doesn't happen.
You
don't intend for it to happen, but it just happens. It happens.
It just happens from time to time. But the way that you prevent it from becoming toxic is that you don't project those comparisons on the other person. You never do that, okay? Even though you harbor some of that within your heart, you work it out with God, you pray about it, but don't project that on the other person. because you're going to overburden them, and you're going to end up putting a lot of weight on them that is not necessary, and you're going to strain the relationship that you have with them. So being able to respect like the individual differences in each person, and knowing how they communicate, knowing them overall, and that's the basis that you communicate with them on. And if it is that you are going to use those comparisons, the way that you can use it in order to make it healthy, then is the change has to be within you. It has to come from you. So if it is that you realize there's a certain strength in one individual friendship and how you operate on that level, try to introduce that strength into the kingdom friendship that is weak on a certain aspect. Because if you see that strength in another friend, they edify you, and they're teaching you, and they're guiding you indirectly as well. So take that trait that they demonstrate so well and try to integrate it into your other friendship. And that's the way that comparison can become healthy in that sense, because you're using it to make you a better person at the end of the day.
So for example, if me and Bianca, I know that in me and Bianca's friendship, I'm more on the rougher edge, the strong type of personality, and she's more the meek personality. And at times, her response to me is gentle. In me communicating with another friend who has strong personality, so as to quench the fire, because it's like, because it's always strong. So to quench the fire in that, not fire like the friendship abundant people, just like to quench the strongness of both parties, I would adapt Bianca's personality in that instance. So be like, I understand where you're coming from, and I respect your decision, and just rest it. Compared to if me did for act how me normally act on a regular day. Well, me not agree with you. God go with you. Me pray for you.
Yeah. And also, just want to add a little thing in there. Do not compare the frequency with how much you talk to the person to the quality of the friendship.
What I mean,
like, I just want to fit that in there, because we have the tendency to do that all the time.
So that's what I mean.
I don't have to talk to Monique every single day. But when we do talk,
most ears,
conversation just constantly flowing. And maybe it is that during that time that we're not talking, we're going through the experiences, we're processing, so that when we come back to that conversation, we can just sit down and say, girl, maybe have me a rough couple of 2 months there. Come, let me tell you everything about it. This happened, and rate it here, and just tick off down the line. And the other friend is just like, really? Girl, I said the entire time. So don't compare the quality of the friendship to the frequency that you guys talk. In another relationship, you guys could probably talk every single day or every week. Another friendship, you'll probably talk every 2 months and so on. It's also dependent on the person and what they're doing in their life. They're probably busy and always on the go. They probably don't use their phone that often. They prefer calls. So don't compare that.
Very much so. Because majority of my kingdom friendships form as of August, save and except the 3 musketeers, which will be here soon and very soon. Them there from the beginning of uni. But majority of everybody that I met was last year October, thereabout around that time. I met almost everybody, even Bianca. From me and Bianca meet buses. Because I already knew that it was a thing. But it's a constant work in progress, and God just have her beside me for just rub down a bit or apply heat, so to speak, in the friendship. So it helps to grow me and edify me. And likewise, there are sometimes where she need my aggression to get herself together. So it's like it plays its part when it's necessary, when it's needed. The personality needed. So if she had doubts in terms of like, she first got said to herself to start one business and she ready to talk, but she not feel like she can't do it. Best believe me, I gonna be there. I'll be like, what you say, auntie? Let's do this.
Foolishness.
don't do that to me now. Don't let me get up and get the olive oil and like you. What you talking about, girl? It's like she like, I know. And then she just, be like, Monique has so much confidence in me. I'm going to do it. But just seeing how God use money for like say, me can do this, for reassure her and stuff like that. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching on YouTube video. And Bianca, thank you so much, my dear.
No problem.
Showing up, looking all cute and stuff.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, guys.
It's been a while.
Do you want to tell them what to do?
Like, share, and subscribe.
Period.